And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph.ONTRACC. Today we're taking action on voluntary celibacy in order for us to never again have to be massively distracted by women throughout our lives. Okay, let's take some action on this. All right. The biggest problem that men will ever have is the distraction of women in terms of achieving their dreams and goals. If you ever want to achieve your dreams and goals, you've got to make sure that this aspect of your life is in full control. If you can control that aspect, the desire for sex, the desire for women in your life, if you can control that aspect in your life, you can get anything in life that you desire, including women. Okay, that's what's so sick about it. You have to let go of it in order for you to get massive abundance of it in the future. And when I talk massively abundance about women, I'm talking about responsible polygyny in Three Girls in Love, not monogamy. Three Girls in Love as taught on this channel and on the Three Girls in Love channel. So how are we going to apply this to our lives? Well, first of all, we got to realize that we've got to take away the romantic aspect completely from what we're doing. We've got some dreams and goals. We've got the 10 to 12 hour work days every single day of the week, maybe except for one day of the week. But in my experience, what I've noticed is that not working the seventh day, okay, is actually extremely bad for consistency. Okay, you need to have a rest day sometimes, obviously, and a day where you can spend time with family and relationships and all that stuff. But in my experience, that is the most difficult day to stay away from women. So if it's necessary for you to work 7 days a week and never take a rest day in order for you just for 30 days to not get your mind on women, then I'd rather you work those 7 days than take a day off just because you have to. Okay, let's worry about that seventh day later. Okay, let's think about now how you can manage to get over the voluntary celibacy thing and manage to actually implement it into your life. Work is the solution always in many aspects. Okay, sometimes you have to face the fact that you need to sometimes it's okay to not work, okay? But in the beginning, now that you haven't worked properly, probably for many years, I want you to get into the habit of being fully focused on being in the service of other people. When you're in the service of other people, you're only in the service of your God, okay? This is how it works. You got to make sure that the universe is there to assist you, and the universe only comes in to assist you when you begin to assist other people. If you're only thinking about women, if you're only thinking about, oh, beautiful, women in bikinis, and I want to go to the beach, and I want to go to this party because this girl is going to be there, and I'm on social media, or I'm watching porn, or whatever that you're doing, you're not being in the service of anyone. You're thinking small, you're thinking puny, you're thinking feminine. Okay, the masculine thing for you to do is to think massive, to think grandiose, to think to think in a manner of being a Superman. Okay, just imagine for a second that you're Superman and you are basically wasting your time with women while everyone else is suffering out there. Masculinity is taking upon yourself the full responsibility for all of the problems in the world. Okay? If you're feminine, be a little bit careful with that, because that can be like, oh, it's my fault that everything's happening. Not so. It's your responsibility, but it's not your fault in the sense that you caused it. Okay, so don't feel bad about you not being able to solve everything immediately. Okay, that's feminine aspect. But from a masculine standpoint is that if you increase your power, there is so much that you can do to solve the world's problems. And if you begin to think in that trajectory, that I can save millions of people if I've got power, and the way for me to get more power is for me to work more. Isn't that interesting how that works? The way that you save people is by serving people in the short run. and then serving people in big capacities on a later point. Like, the more power you develop, the more you can serve other people, right? It's amazing how this system works. The universe has a perfect system for happiness, and if you apply it into your life, you get fired up outside your brain. Okay, once you begin to direct your focus on, it's my responsibility that all of those kids are starving in Africa, and I don't care. Okay, I'm masculine, so I'm able to put that in a compartmentalized manner, in the sense of, it's not a priority for me to take care of that right now. The more I take care of women, or the more I take care of children starving in Africa right now, the less I'm able to do everything that I need to do, unless I want that to be my focus. Do you understand what I mean? So, but from a grand picture, you're applying that to your life, and you're looking at that is my responsibility. The masculine thing for me to do is to solve all of the world problems one by one. What is the most effective way for me to do that right now? Which means I need to completely abstain from thinking about the world problems right now, and I need to look at what problems can I solve right here, right now. So we think globally, but we act locally. I'm going to talk more about that in the future. But for now, I just want to bring that up to help you to understand, what can you do to avoid the temptation of being with women romantically right now as you are a voluntary celibate. What can you do right now to take your mind off of looking at social media and scrolling? Okay? That's what you need to do. Work. Be in the service of other people. Work 10 to 12 hours every single freaking day. Every day. All of the time. Work. If you have one job, that's a problem. Okay? If you have 0 jobs, that's even worse. You need to have 3 jobs. Okay? At least 2. You have to have 2. If you have 2 full-time jobs and a business on the side, okay, fine. If you have 1 full-time job and a small part-time job, you need a second part-time job. Or you need to replace the part-time job with another full-time job. Do you understand what I mean? How do you get the hours to add up? You'll figure it out. This is the most effective way to avoid thinking about women, because you're being busy. You're being directed by other people, in the sense that they're using your time and you're receiving value for that time, or else you wouldn't do that job, most probably. And that's going to help you to take your mind off of women once and for all. And it's all about just doing that for 30 days. Because if you manage to go 30 days without an ejaculation, you're now going on track towards semen retention. Between 30 and 60 days, you won't even have a desire for women. You won't even want to be in their presence. You won't even want to look at porn and all that stuff, because it's like, it's a waste of time. And you internally know that, and your semen production knows that, because your semen production lowers after those 30 days of not having any ejaculations. We're talking about semen retention here. And once you get past those 30 days, the 30 initial days that are so difficult, I'm thinking about women all of the time. Okay, you're going to begin to calm down after those 30 days. Okay? Between 30 to 60 days, you're not going to have those issues. Once you get past 90 days, okay, now you're going to begin to have those issues again, because the sperm production is building and building and building again. However, your control over yourself and your ejaculations, it's going to massively increase. But you're going to have a desire for women. But at that point in time, you'll also have developed 90 days of putting goals into your system, of putting goals into your program in a way that you are focused on achieving your goals. And you are like, I have one of my clients who've gone through this exact process. He's past 90 days now. He's almost at 100 days. It's insane. He's thinking about women, okay? It's difficult, but he can control himself. He knows he can control himself. So once he has his goals in place and he's focused on those goals and he's busy, okay, in a good manner, then the women are out of the picture, but the sperm production is massively working. Whenever he sees a girl fully clothed, he begins to smile. He begins to feel something. It's motivating. It's like, oh man, I need to use this motivation now to go out and build a business. And he doesn't even talk to her. He doesn't even, or maybe he does talk to her, but it's just in a friendly manner, and it has no romantic thought to it at all. because he's focused. Do you understand what I mean? So it's critical for you to understand this aspect of how do you implement voluntary celibacy. You have to couple it with goals. And the only way to couple it with goals is if you don't have time for your goals. Okay? That's step number one is work. Step number one is 10 to 12 hours of work every single day. If you can work 14 hours, even better. The only times you get breaks is when you eat some food, maybe you exercise a little bit during the day, you do your morning routine, your evening routine, and other than that, you simply work all of the time. Why do I why am I so focused on that? Because it puts your mind in the right space, so that you don't think about women. Sometimes you have to force yourself to not think about women by being so immersed in something else in the beginning until you manage to transform that aspect of thinking about a job and thinking about having a boss talking to you all of the time, telling you what to do. Men were not designed for that. But it's going to make you fired up outside your brain to never, ever have a full-time job in your life ever again. Like those that are employees actually don't mind being employees that much very often if they have the employee mindset, because they only work 6 to 8 hours a day. And then they're like, and then I'm done. I like my life a little bit because thank goodness it's Friday, and then I can leave my work and I can enjoy my life. The good life is the enemy of the great life. Okay, the good life is having a full-time job, being able to pay for all your expenses, and even having vacation money, and going to have some parties during the weekend and meet some friends and blah blah blah. Oh my gosh, do you know the potential that you're giving up on? The millions and millions of dollars, and who cares about the money? But what the millions of dollars can get you, okay? What the millions of dollars can get you in terms of confidence, in terms of you becoming a man, in terms of masculinity that you develop in your life, the desire for power in a good way, so that you can help other people. Do you understand what I mean? So that you can have an increased joy in your life. The good life is the enemy of the great life, which means you've got to make your life miserable for a time. You've got to go through hell to get to heaven. And being miserable for a time is immersing yourself in someone else's work, and it's taking up all of your focus, all of your time. And guess what happens to the women? They become second rate. They're not important to me right now. Even though I'm 21 years old and I'm in the prime of my life, and the emotions for wanting women in your life is so intense. Man, imagine using that intensity to achieve, in the beginning, someone else's goals, okay, by working for other people, having those 3 jobs, and then immersing yourself into your goal on the side and making that bigger. And then as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of income, the business on the side, the job is becoming smaller and smaller. Eventually, you are disciplined 10 to 12 hours a day working and focusing on your business only. And you're actually disciplined because you've learned how to be focused. You've learned how to be fired up outside your brain about your goals. And you've learned how to do that when no one else is telling you what to do. Now you're becoming masculine. Man, that's power. That's amazing. You won't be able to do it now. This is why, it's been said, even on my channel, I've said this before, that the number one reason why people fail in business is cash flow or having cash. Okay? Yes, it's true statistically. However, the real reason why people fail in business is because of distractions. Okay? It's because of not being able to immerse yourself and focus on a day-to-day basis for 10 to 12 hours every single day. If you were able to do that 10 to 12 hours a day and did not have a need for money at all, you would become successful with that project. Okay? But most men are not able to do what needs to get done without being told what to do because they're still feminine. Okay, so you've got to go through the transformation from feminine into being told what to do a lot, okay? 16 hours a day, 14 hours a day, 12 hours a day, whatever. And then you manage to move over to the business side once you're being told what to do and going through hell. And I hate having jobs. I don't like having jobs, and I don't like being told what to do. Once you're in that mind frame, okay, you're making your life worse temporarily for a time. You're right on track, baby. Right on track. And then you start your business on the side while you're so busy. Someone asked me, okay, this is from a comment of someone asking, how can we implement all of the things that you're telling me to do here, about avoiding women and not making them allowing them to be a distraction in your life? Work. Okay. Have you heard women very often say, you don't spend time with me? Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm second priority in your life. Fantastic. Okay. This is great. You're right on track. Unless you're married, okay, if you're married or you're committed to someone for life that has committed to you and they have kids with you and all that stuff, it's a completely different story. If that's your story, then hire me as a coach so I can help you to overcome those distractions, because, man, you're going to struggle to become successful. If you're single, oh my gosh, do you have any idea the potential for what you can achieve in business if you're single? If you manage to avoid the distractions of women, you will become a ballistic missile towards your dreams and goals. Like, literally, you will be going towards them at a 10x speed that you've never realized before. That's the power of semen retention, coupled with goals, with deadlines, okay? Not having women in your life. If you've got women in your life, man, you're going to be all over the place, emotionally unstable, and, I can't get away from the women. Okay, you're seriously, bro, like, you can go so much better. Okay, so I just want to go into the other aspect. If you haven't liked this video, come on, guys, let's put it a like. Going into the other aspects of, okay, so I managed to work a lot, but I still get distracted by women. Okay, choose a workplace that has tons of masculine men there, if possible, if you can choose. Okay, what I very often tell people about how to get jobs is to apply for 50 jobs every single day. Oh yeah, but Joseph, I've got qualifications, and there's only 2 or 3 jobs of my qualification that comes out on the market every single day. Get a job. I don't care what kind of job you get. Okay, keep applying for jobs, even if you have 3 jobs, so that you can get a better job. But apply for 50 jobs if you don't have one. And if you only have one, apply for 50 jobs anyway to get the 2 others. Okay, I don't care if it's at Starbucks, McDonald's, Domino's, whatever it is, apply for jobs. Whatever it is. Okay, the lowest paying job, great, fantastic. Okay, I got one of my clients to go from finance back to Domino's. Why? Because Domino's takes less of his headspace. So if he has less of his headspace and he's making approximately the same as his finance job, even though the potential for his finance job makes him potentially a lot more money in the future, he needs to be in hell a little bit right now. But in order for him to get out of the workforce long term and never want a job ever again, okay? But it's happening, and it's working. Okay, so what I'm trying to explain to you guys as well is the aspect of, if you still have time on your hands right now and you're trying to apply for jobs but it's not working because you're being distracted by women. That's a possibility. You're distracted by your phone. You're distracted by parties. You're distracted by the SMSs that the girls are sending you while you should be applying for 50 to 100 jobs and you're not doing it. How do you do it? You unfollow everyone on social media. There's tons of guys telling me that I'm taking a break from social media. I'm not going to be on there, and I'll let you know when I'm back, and I'll text you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, if you had just unfollowed every single person that you are on social media with, or at least all the girls on social media and all the guys that post about women, then you would never see women on your social media. Have you seen the algorithms actually work in your favor, trying to give you what you have searched for in the past? So if you don't search for women, then they're not going to promote women to you. And this algorithm is being updated on a continual daily basis based upon what you search on. For me, I never have women up in my face on social media, ever. It doesn't happen. Okay? Never. How is that possible? Because I don't search for it. And you're able to get to that point as well. where you're not searching for it. But the only way to start doing that, obviously, is don't search for it. But the other aspect is delete everyone that promotes women to you. Okay? Because if you do that, then the moment you see women on social media, that's a trajectory. That's an exponential growth curve. You see one woman, oh, that's nice. And then you go to another woman and you're like, oh, I kind of want to go to porn now eventually. That's kind of what happens, right? So you want to avoid that exponential growth curve. You want to avoid jumping on the bandwagon of seeing a pretty girl and then doing something about it. You don't want to do something about it. You want to be busy. And the best way to be busy is to go out there and apply for jobs. Really, the best way to achieve this is to leave your house. Never be at home. Never be at home. Home is the worst place to be if you're single. Why? Because you got a computer and you got a phone. And what do you do when you have nothing to do? You get stuck on your phone and on your computer. Don't do that. Okay? In the beginning, even if you're a fantastic wizard on the computer and that's what you're going to become successful in life, get a job. Get a hardworking job when you're out and about talking to people. That's my opinion. Okay? That's the most effective way to avoid the pitfalls of women in your life. Yeah, but what do you do if someone wants to become your girlfriend and she's pretty and maybe she's the one? She's not the one. Okay? There is no one. Okay? Because if you believe in the one, it's one-itis. It means that you're stuck in monogamy. You're stuck in femininity. And you're going to be stuck in femininity forever because you're going to be a hybrid. The more time you spend with someone of the opposite gender, the more like the opposite gender you're going to become. So don't do that. Spend time with masculine men. When you spend time with masculine men, the more you gravitate to become more like masculine men. If you're spending a lot of time with women, stop it. Okay? And they're going to say, oh, you're not my friend anymore. Now, why are you doing so? Blah, blah. Women are wonderful, but you don't got time for their crap right now. You don't have time for their crap right now. Okay? You're actually sacrificing the world and your power and your ability to save the world and to save everyone. You can save millions of people. And yet you're going shopping with the girl because she wanted to and you like her and hopefully you can get with her. Stop it. Don't spend time with girls needlessly. And if you do spend time with girls, it's only because it's necessary. It's only because it's your job and you have to be there because you're making money. But in my opinion, find jobs that only have men there if possible, because you won't be distracted by it. It's a completely different environment when you begin to have women around. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to share. Let me just answer questions and then I'll be leaving here. I've been working, but at work, my mind strays a lot. Yeah, at work, your mind strays a lot. Why does it stray? Are you fulfilling the orders of your boss? And are you doing that at the nth degree? Okay. Like once you are at a job, I want you to be the best employee that the world has ever seen. You put the biggest smile on your face. You're fired up outside your brain. Whenever you're done with the task, you go directly to your boss and you say, I'm done. Give me something more. I want more action. Give it to me. Okay. And he's like, oh, okay. Can you do this at the same time? And he's like, yes. Okay. And then when he doesn't, when he's not around and he's not there to tell you what to do, take initiative. Okay. He might get upset because you did something wrong, whatever, but you took initiative. You're taking action. You're looking for ways to improve things. Okay. You're being an entrepreneur inside their business. You're practicing your brain to look for opportunities of what could be solved there and what could be solved there and what could be solved there. When you do that, you won't be straying with your mind. You're looking for ways to improve things all of the time. And when you're done with the task, not only do you ask for what to do next, but you also go the nth degree. You do more and more and more. Like, be an amazing employee. That's the only thing I'm gonna say there. Let's see. Just hit 90 days and it's almost as hard as first 30 days. Yes, the only reason why it's hard though is because you're not working enough. So you have the balance things of being exhausted, okay, because you're working so much, And I'll tell you why that reason is. Why are you so exhausted? And when you're exhausted and stressed, very often your mind tend to go towards, I need pleasure and I need to relax and I need to be with women and all that stuff. Let me just quickly explain that one. The reason why it's just as hard now at 90 days in terms of controlling your mind is because you are like you're you're not putting enough nutrition in your body. That's really what it's about. You're not exercising on a daily basis and you're not putting enough nutrition in your body. If you are in survival mode, there's a difference. You have survival mode and then you've got growth mode. Growth mode is when you're able to be on 10 to 12 hours a day. On, boom, 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 boom. And then at the end of the night, you're just like, oh man, I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. I'm going to just lay down here in my bed for a second. And then you pass out. And you're like, okay, ready for a new day. You know, like that's the kind of mindset you want to have, that you're on all of the time. However, if you do not get enough food inside your system, or you get the wrong foods inside your system, then you're going to be in survival mode, meaning you're going to be stressed, you're going to be anxious, and you're going to be like, you know, easily aggressive or easily think about women, because that's what men do when they want to relax. This is why feminine men are way more sexual than masculine men. Okay? If you're feminine, you're going to be way more sexual for your own good. Okay, masculinity, they think about sexuality sometimes when it's time, but most of the time it's not the time. They do it only in season, but they use the fuel of motivation that comes from the sperm production and desire to focus on other things of non-sexual nature, if that makes sense. If you're masculine, you'll be able to focus and control what you're thinking about at any given time. When you're feminine, you only think about the needs because you're in survival mode. Femininity for men brings them survival mode. Masculinity in women brings them survival mode. So it's the opposite in terms of genders. So what do you need to do? If you're struggling to work 10, 12 hours a day, and when you are home, you're anxious and stressed and blah, blah, and I just need coffee and I need all the stimulants to help my body, you need better nutrition. You need to figure out how to put better nutrition into your body and constant nutrition throughout the day, okay? Understand how your body works so that your brain can work at its optimal growth mode level. This is one of the big aspects as well in terms of building a business and having a job. If you build a business and you don't have any jobs, very often what you suck at is that you're not busy and you're trying to build business, but you're being distracted because you're in survival mode, not giving your body enough nutrition. You're not eating enough. Okay? So if you apply that while you have those 3 jobs, you'll find ways of inserting exercise, you'll find ways of inserting business, and you'll find ways of inserting nutrition and eating well throughout the day, despite you working 10 to 12 hours a day, if that makes sense. You'll find ways of cooking food and then making it once a week and then making batches and putting them in the freezer and then taking them out the night before and then do you understand? You'll build your system around how can I manage to work 12 hours a day? Like, how do people do that? Like, people will be asking you, how do you have the energy to do that? They don't understand semen retention. They don't understand your systems with food. They don't understand your sleep. They don't understand anything of what you're doing. You are unique. You're different. You do things differently, but it's based upon principle. It's based upon you taking action on a consistent basis over a long period of time and getting an exponential growth curve that no one else, okay, that barely anyone else will ever experience in their lifetime. We live for the exponential growth curve. That's the only thing. In exponential growth, we trust, okay? That's needs to be your slogan forever, starting today. In exponential growth, we trust, because that's the universe for you. That's how it's built. That's how it's created. It is created in a way for us to get exponential growth, enjoy happiness, peace, money, all the good things of life is based for us to have exponential growth in. So if we understand that and you understand the nutrition aspect, you'll be able to control yourself because you're still in survival mode. Fix that. Okay, what's your stand on MGTOW? Quick aspect on MGTOW. MGTOWs are men going their own way. Obviously, in this video, I'm telling men to go their own way, but MGTOW are saying stay away from women forever and then sleep around when you want to. What's up with that? Okay. First aspect, men going their own way are completely blaming women. Okay, you've got two aspects. You've got facts don't care about feelings. Okay, the facts are that men feel neglected and feel that women have done this to them, and women don't do their fair share and they're responsible and blah blah blah. That's MGTOW. And then you've got, and feminism are doing the exact same way. They're basically saying, oh, men are all crap and da 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 da. And to some extent, they're both right. Okay. However, when you're a masculine man, you do not blame. You try to understand before you seek to be understood. Because why do you need to be understood? Like, it doesn't, why? Like, you shouldn't be caring about being understood. You should be caring about understanding, because the more you understand about other people, the more you have in your tool shed to achieve your dreams and goals. Do you understand what I mean? So, like, that's how I've gone throughout my life, is seeking to understand people. That's why I know what I know. People ask me, what books have you read? Bro, the biggest book I've read is observing people. The biggest book I've read is just looking at all these people and using my two ears and listening to them. It's listening to what they're saying, listening to women, listening to men, listening to everything that's going around, and understanding. And once you understand people, okay, you don't have to blame them, because it's not their fault. Very often they're ignorant to what's going on in their lives. And that's okay. It's okay. And it's all about education. Basically, not academic education. That's the worst part in history, but regular education in terms of street learning and understanding people and understanding truth in general. So that's my stance on MGTOW, if that makes sense. I'm completely against their movement, because we're not going our own way forever. We're going our own way so that we can rescue women and children. Okay, MGTOW are going their own way for forever because they don't want to, and they haven't found any girl that is worth it. Bro, okay, just a quick message to MGTOWs out there. If women in your life suck, it's because you suck. Okay, if you are awesome and amazing, the women in your life are going to be awesome and amazing. Simple fact. Okay, so all MGTOWs out there, woohoo! If women in your life suck, you suck. Fix it. Let's move on to the next one. As a student, how can we focus on work when you have high academic goals? Yes, let's focus on this one. I gotta explain this, man. This is my favorite stuff. Get rid of academics. Get rid of academics. Do not go to school. It is the worst investment of your time and money to go to school. Okay? Everything that you need to learn is out there. Everything you need to learn is on YouTube. Everything you need to learn is on courses. Everything you need to learn is from a coach. The reason why you're going to school is to make money. But it's your biggest distraction after women to make money. Do not go to school. If you don't understand why I'm saying this, I'm not going to go on for 30 minutes about it. Check out my other videos about college and university degrees. It is the worst time investment in the world if you want to get rich. Don't do it ever. Let's see. If you're enrolled in university, it depends where you're at in your degree. Like, if you have 6 months left or 1 year left, I could be like, maybe, is it worth it to finish off because you'll immediately get a job after college and stuff like that? Bro, I quit my last year. I finished my first years of college. I only had 1 year left of college. My goal was to get rich. The moment I understood that college is actually going to prevent me from getting rich, okay, in many aspects. Why do you think so many rich people quit college? Okay, because it got in the way. It was worthless to them. Okay, you need to realize that as well. If you're academic, it's because you're feminine. If you're an academic, it's because you're feminine. Get rid of the academics and begin to focus on truth and and how to achieve riches quicker. Because having a job is not the solution. That's why I want you to have 3 jobs, 3 low-paying jobs early on in life, okay? As much as possible, so that you can get rid of the employee mindset. A college degree is there to give you a job. You don't want a job, right? You don't want a job. So get as many jobs as possible so that you can get the money and then you've got the money, and you've got the extreme desire to never, ever, ever have a job ever again in your entire life. Okay? Academic education will help you to get a higher paid job, and the higher paid job you have, the harder it's going to be to let go of that job. And yeah. If it's parental pressure, check out my video on masculine rebellion. Check out my video on yeah, there's so much. I would say DM me on Instagram, man, because there's so much I can tell you about what's going on in your life. And yeah. Oh no, I went out with a female colleague of mine for coffee shopping, and I denied it at first, but suddenly I started feeling for her. I really felt from grace, but Corona has been a blessing. Alejandro, you're hilarious, man. There you go. Coffee shopping. Oh, you're becoming a girl. You're becoming a lesbian. Congratulations. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Let's see. It's a joke, obviously. You know, you're awesome, Alejandro. When I have urges and craving of sex, it's like I suck some energy of my brain. Then I eliminate urges, and then it feels more clear. It's hard, but it works. What do you think about it? How do you eliminate your urges? But yes, absolutely. It's fantastic. Work. Bro, how do you have all this knowledge? So accurate. Any book recommendations? That's what I explained, right? The biggest book is my observation of people. So the book recommendations, check out which video was that when someone summed it up. But the biggest book, I would say hire a coach. That's the fastest way for you to understand what's going on here. Hire me as a coach. Get a free consultation. See if it's worth it for you, depending upon, you know, in my opinion, even if you make $500 a month or $1,000 a month, you barely have enough for yourself. You barely have enough for rent. You barely have enough for anything. To get that month of coaching from me puts you in a completely different headspace and puts you on the trajectory towards exponential growth that you can't believe, even if you're in a third world country, because it just funnels your everything into you take your life seriously if you do that. So I highly recommend having a free consultation with me. But if you can't, and you like, I really can't, Joseph, then read Slight Edge. Slight Edge is a fantastic book about exponential growth. So what if it's a path for like medicine? I've explained about this in the past. Becoming a doctor and staying a doctor for the rest of your life is feminine. I mean, depending, of course, you can become a massive specialist and a surgeon and, make a lot of money as a doctor. However, I want you to think in terms of how to employ 10,000 people, 100,000 people. You're putting your life at risk by relying on your skills alone and your knowledge alone for the survival of you and your family. Well, what if you disappear? How or what if you break your hands and you're a brain surgeon using your hands? It's a problem. Your goal as a masculine man is to figure out ways of employing people, putting people to work, to be a capitalist, understanding how humans work so that you can employ 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000s of people, right? Millions of people if necessary, so that you understand big business. If you are a doctor, there's tons of other guys who will become doctors and who will take care of us, okay? You don't have to. But if you absolutely have to, and it's like, it's my dream and goal, man, then become a doctor, but become a doctor of doctors, okay? In the sense of become a doctor, but make sure that you have 10 doctors working for you, 100 doctors working for you, 1,000 doctors working for you. Open up a medical clinic, okay? That's a private clinic that makes sure that you employ thousands upon thousands and thousands of doctors. Do you understand the masculinity aspect there? So, yeah, but in my opinion, I would definitely try to understand. Man, 6 years to do that, bro. 6 years. Oh yeah, I've said this in the past. If you're going to study medicine, instead of doing it in 6 or 7 years, do it in 2. Okay? Like, why aren't you passing all the exams in 2 years or 3 years instead of 6? It doesn't make any sense. But if you are studying medicine, that's cool, okay? There are other degrees as well that are also good, but if man, they're very few. There's like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You can count them on one hand what kind of degrees are worth anything. If you have a working for a marketing degree or business degree or a data engineering degree or something like that, worthless, okay? Worthless. Then I would do something completely different and becoming rich first instead. Really, it takes literally 12 to 18 months or maybe 2 to 3 years, absolute maximum, for you to become rich. And you're spending 3 to 5 years going to school? Oh my gosh. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Make sure you DM me for a free consultation on Men of High Value on Instagram. And I will definitely help you out and getting rid of distractions so you can faster achieve your dreams and goals. Let's make sure we avoid the romantic aspect with women. Man, let's make it happen. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. See you in the next one.